It's Jamal Tinsley with Reggie Miller in the backcourt. Artest, Al Harrington starts tonight with Jermaine O'Neal up front. Phillips and Hamilton in the backcourt for the Pistons. Tayshaun Prince up front with the Wallaces, Rasheed and Ben. Officials, it's game 6. O'Neal and Wallace go up, and the Pacers will touch it first.
And I like the move by Rick Carlisle. Now, it's not that much different from Crozier. It's still small ball. He's trying to get more quickness with Al Harrington.
Trying to get it to O'Neal on the opening possession. They finally do. On the low block. Knocked away from behind and now knocked out of bounds with 2 seconds on the shot clock. First they double teamed and then they ran Tayshaun Prince from the backside.
And then they start off in zone, something Larry Brown rarely does. So he's already putting all the tricks out.
2 seconds to shoot. Reggie Miller to inbound. Out to Al Harrington. He takes one dribble and the jumper goes. So Al Harrington hits the first basket of the ballgame.
And Al Harrington is a young, athletic player and a player who plays on confidence. The last thing the Detroit Pistons need to see from him is making that first shot.
Tayshaun Prince with Reggie Miller on him. Spins inside. And O'Neal with a rebound. Tinsley, even when he pushes it up court, it's with a limp. Here's Harrington's second attempt. And Ben Wallace an easy rebound.
In most cases, when you watch the Pacers, that's a bad shot. Tonight, that's a good shot. They have to force the tempo. They know they cannot win this game if it's a half-court game.
They would love to take 22,000 people out of the ball game in a hurry. Rasheed Wallace, nice job. Taps it back out to Phillips and a fresh shot clock for the Pistons.
Well, that's what they're going to give up. If they're going to go small, they're going to get hurt on the offensive rebounds.
Wallace has had 2 big games, including a fine performance in game 5, and he goes baseline to tie it. Coming off a 22.8 rebound performance 2 days ago, he's got the first Pistons bucket. Artest strong against Prince off the glass. Artest, when he has position like that, there's not much Prince can do.
No, it's not. And he has to get better position. You know, he was saying that he's starting too far away from the basket. So by the time he beat Prince, he gave other guys time to help. He wants to catch it a little closer this evening.
Hamilton's first touch. Artest on him. Ben Wallace driving inside, kicks it back to Prince. He's going to have to take one over Reggie Miller. And Tinsley up for the rebound. Tayshaun Prince and Reggie Miller got tangled up, and Prince goes down heading into the front court. Harrington against Rasheed Wallace. Rejected. So what we expected to see Ron Artest to open the game on Rip Hamilton is what we're seeing.
Yeah, and so what Detroit's going to do is try to attack Reggie Miller with Tayshaun Prince.
Rasheed Wallace, 3, in and out. Tinsley goes left of the pick and takes the jumper.
You know, you can just see every one of Jamal Tinsley's shots hits the front of the rim because he doesn't have legs. You know, when you get your wheels taken from you, it's tough to take a jump shot.
Even his free throws in the last game were that way. O'Neal out to Tinsley, gives it up because of that very thing Doc's talking about. Reggie Miller takes a runner and Rasheed Wallace with a rebound. Detroit another opportunity to tie. And blocking foul on Tinsley.
It's rare that you're going to catch Reggie Miller not ready to shoot. But on that last one, he had time to shoot the basketball, and he wasn't ready to shoot the basketball.
He gave up a couple of shots late in game 5 that had us looking at each other like, wait a minute, you're giving it up to Anthony Johnson, you're one of the best shooters of all time. Phillips. O'Neal finally comes over to cut off his path, but he picks up the foul as well.
I tell you, Phillips set that up perfect. He came off the screen, hesitated, froze the entire defense, and then attacked the basket, and now he gets a foul.
Tinsley already coming out. Anthony Johnson will come in at point guard for Indiana.
And I tell you, you know, you look at little things. When Rick Carlisle patted Tinsley on the back, that wasn't a pat saying, good job. that was a Pat saying, good effort,
Yep.
but I'm not going to play you anymore. I would be very surprised if I saw him again.
Let's check in with Jim.
Brad, as we said, there was going to be a quick plug. I don't know right now if Tinsley will return, but he was going to watch him very closely and get him right out of the game. As for guarding Rip Hamilton with Ron Artest, Carlisle told me that he did a great job on him early in Game 3, but it's a problem because he gets killed off the ball. A lot of weak side things happen. Not having Ron take care of Ben and Rasheed makes it a problem, so that's the reluctance to do it.
You know, it's interesting, Brad. They charted Rip's shots in Game 5, and they thought over half his shots came off of non-plays other than plays for him.
Jermaine O'Neal knocks down the jumper to give the Pacers a 3-point advantage. So Artest, O'Neal, and Harrington have all scored the front line for the Pacers so far. Phillips. Tayshaun Prince has a look at the shot clock and knows he's going to have to be the man. Might wait too long. Got it away, but didn't get the shot to drop. And O'Neal with another rebound. Third rebound already for Jermaine O'Neal. Here he is, wide open on the baseline. Rasheed right back out to Prince. Now it's Hamilton with a little bit of a crease against Artest, and he drew the foul.
Again, Rip Hamilton goes to the bucket. That wasn't a called set. That was free basketball. They push the ball up the floor. He catches Artest off guard. And look at the quickness. You know, we keep talking about him moving without the ball. That's moving with the ball. And Artest is a very tough guy to beat off the dribble.
So Rip will go to the free throw line. We'll check in with Michelle.
Well, I spoke with Rip Hamilton before the game, asked him if there was anyone on this Pacers roster who made it tough for him defensively, and he said the only one that can stop me is me. And I asked Larry Brown about it as well. He said, I don't think anyone in this league stops the great players one-on-one. Rip also added that definitely Artest is more physical, but he can't stop him one-on-one. It's the team defense that'll slow him down, guys.
Yeah, that's a good point. Rip Hamilton told me before the series, if he keeps moving, then Artest can't put his body on him.
Right.
It's when he stands still that Artest is effective.
Here's Artest powering his way through traffic.
That was a good turn, power. Did you see the Red Sea open up?
Sure did.
You know, most people take charges on guards. With Artest, you got to think about it.
You got to think twice. They thought too long, and he laid it in. He's got 4, and the lead goes to 4.
That's like Earl Campbell coming down the pipe.
Rasheed Wallace, tough catch. Harrington stripped it from behind, and Detroit turns it over. Reggie Miller for 3. Got it. Big start for the Pacers on the road, much as Detroit did in Indiana 2 nights ago.
Well, the Pacers are playing free and comfortable. It's exactly what Rick Carlisle told them. There's no pressure on us.
I didn't know that's how you hotted a hot dog.
I tell you what, if I did all that stuff before the game, I'd be exhausted.
7-point lead here early for the Pacers. Ben Wallace over and around Jermaine O'Neal.
Smart move by Larry Brown. He knows Jermaine O'Neal already has 1 foul, so attack him low, because if you can cut him off with 2 fouls, then the Pacers are in trouble.
You know, Doc, that was the first field goal for Ben Wallace in 87 minutes of action dating back to the 4th quarter of Game 3. They don't expect much offense from him, but it helps when he gives them some. Harrington against Wallace off the glass. Tough shot. Al Harrington starting tonight with 4 points.
Really interesting. The Pacers staff told me 2 games ago that that's another thing that they saw, that Al Harrington is pretty effective against Ben Wallace. And when you look at the 2, you just don't see it, but he is.
Phillips, and it's stripped by Artest. Detroit with more turnovers than they have field goals right now. And a foul's going to be on Tayshaun Prince.
Well, every single time down now, the Pacers have done 1 or 2 things. They've either run a pick and roll or they've gone directly to the post to O'Neal. That's where they think they can attack this Detroit's defense.
There's O'Neal. That's what Doc was talking about. Over Wallace. Came up short, and Ben Wallace with a rebound. Only 2 field goals in 11 possessions. See how they do this trip. Wallace caught it in a good spot. Trying to get his own miss, but Harrington pulls it down.
Yeah, again, O'Neal was playing cautious defensively because he doesn't want to pick up that second foul. Rip Hamilton has yet to take a shot.
And Al Harrington with an offensive foul as Ben Wallace hits the deck.
There's a double-edged sword with Al Harrington. He's a young guy, very aggressive, sometimes plays out of control. But if you're Rick Carlisle, you need him to play that aggressively.
And Rick's going to go to his bench. Austin Crozier and Fred Jones will check in. Here's another look at the offensive foul on Harrington. Coming down and just hip checks Ben Wallace, who hits the deck.
Still staying small, and Fred Jones, Brad, was terrific in Game 5.
He was one of the only bright spots for the Pacers in Game 5. Chauncey Billups, a three. And nobody home but yellow jerseys. O'Neal with a rebound. His fifth already in the first quarter. Crozier driving into traffic, finds Artest for three. And Tayshaun Prince with a rebound. Looking to get it up to Rip Hamilton. He hasn't been able to get it in the flow of his game yet. And now he's fouled.
You know, you look at Rip Hamilton again, he must weigh 180 if we're being nice.
Right.
You know, but he plays a physical game. That last play, he was backing Fred Jones down like he was a 2-on-1 guard. I mean, Rip's not strong, but he plays strong. Sometimes it has nothing to do with muscle. It's your mentality.
Wallace in low again. This time he misses again. Chauncey Billups will try another three, and he's missed two of those. The score remains the same, a 7-point advantage as we approach 3.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Johnson almost traveled. Fans thought he did. 6 to shoot. Crozier again driving, and this time he's fouled.
And almost injured himself. And Crozier has speed, Brad. The one thing with Austin Crozier, he can show the ball. You have to honor his shot. And that gives him an extra step because he can shoot the basketball.
He couldn't shoot it as well in Game 5 as he did in Game 4, but you know that possibility is there, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I thought he tried to penetrate almost too much in Game 5 instead of doing what he does best, and that is shoot the basketball.
There's his numbers from Game 5. He's 6 out of 8 from the free throw line in this Eastern Conference Final Series. That's his first point of the ball game. Which team was the all-time champion? Birds Celtics versus Magic's Lakers. Cast your votes in the final matchup of the all-time finals challenge on NBA.com.
Yeah, I had to cast mine today.
You did.
And again, it's changed.
You keep changing, like you're changing shirts and ties.
I went all green. That's all I'm going to say.
Crozier got one of two. The lead swells to 8. Pistons have 2 field goals, one from Rasheed Wallace, one from Ben Wallace in close. Corliss Williamson into the lineup for the first time. Here's Rasheed open on the baseline. That's his spot. Well, one of many actually, but he was very effective in Game 5 from that very position. Fans had to wait till the Pistons finally scored again before they started their defense chat, and it didn't last long. Ron Artest lights it up for 3.
I don't know what he was doing for those 2 days, but it's working.
He wasn't practicing. And whatever pain he has in his head, he's putting the pain on the Pistons right now.
We're talking about practice.
Hamilton, one dribble and missed the shot over Jones this time.
More importantly, that's his first shot.
Ben Wallace from behind. Did he save it? Not quite. Anthony Johnson lays it in. Boy, this is all Pacers right now. They look like the team that won 61 in the regular season. The team we saw at home the other night.
And Ben Wallace broke the rule. You know, when you save the ball, you should throw it all the way down to the other end of your side of the court. Never throw it under your own basket.
defensive stops. Back to you guys.
Well, they're not even hitting free throws right now.
Yeah, but I think what Michelle was saying, first with Ben Wallace, you have Jermaine O'Neal with an early foul, and you bailed him out by going away from the bucket when you knew O'Neal was not going to do anything. With Rip Hamilton, what he's trying to say is calm down. You know, the one thing that the Pacers have done, you know, they haven't knocked Rip Hamilton down yet. You know, and that's the one thing that Rick Carlisle was saying. We can do something, and that is be more physical and pay more attention to him, and so far they're doing that.
Anthony Johnson short on a turnaround, an air ball that Rasheed Wallace scoops up. The Pacers even smaller right now with basically a three-guard unit out there with Artest, Jones, and Johnson.
Well, you know what they're saying, Brad? You win. You're bigger.
Now, Ben Wallace just did the same thing.
Another one.
Why not go up and throw that thing down?
Yeah, you know what he was trying to do again? He is so conscious of being fouled, he went up thinking he was going to get fouled. Watch how he goes to the basket. He's looking for Harrington's body. Harrington moves out of the way instead of getting his sure to, because his free throw is definitely not a sure to.
The headband went flying over to the scorer's table as Freddie Jones, much as he did in Game 5, lights it up from the outside.
Some guys just have swagger. You know, Fred Jones walks on the floor and he acts like he's better than everybody, and that's what makes him so effective in this series.
Corliss Williamson, he goes up strong and he missed. He missed twice, and Fred Jones with a rebound. 7 different Pacers have already scored, including this guy, Fred Jones. Austin Crozier now.
Fred Jones set that entire play up with his eyes. He kept looking like he wanted to give the ball to Anthony Johnson. He had no intentions of giving the ball to Anthony Johnson.
And a foul as Chauncey Billups goes around a pick on Austin Crozier. Crozier, who just slammed it on the other end, has 3 points off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, Crozier right here is scoring off the byproduct of the Fred Jones penetration. I mean, this kid comes in and gives this young Pacer team swagger.
Larry Brown going to his bench, and Darvin Ham is going to check in, and Rip Hamilton will sit down. So, early move, bringing Darvin Ham off the bench is Detroit struggling mightily.
You know,
offense.
I was interested to see how Rip Hamilton would come out. I think it's very difficult when you have to hear about yourself, quote unquote, being a superstar now. You know, for 2 days he's had to read that, he had to hear that, and you know, you start playing different when you start hearing those things. I heard that for 1 minute of my career. You know, and it is. You start thinking different thoughts instead of just coming out to play. I think that's what Larry Brown was saying about calm down.
Virtually no difference on the shot clock and the game clock. And the Pistons have a foul to give. Final 10 seconds. Artest trying to dribble through traffic. Crozier in the corner. Airmailed one as the final shot of the first quarter. And I think they're going to reset the shot clock. So the quarter is not quite over. 0.6 left.
And it's a good call because it was 24.6 when the Pacers had possession. So the ball didn't hit the rim. They have to reset it back to that 0.6 mark.
That's all kinds of time. 0.6 if you're playing for the Lakers.
Yeah, we found that 0.6 is plenty of time in this league.
See if Chauncey Billups is the guy that gets an attempt. Here he is. Oh, he couldn't handle a pass. He was ready to.
The young kids, they have a tendency to think this always happens, that they'll always be in this kind of position. And I try to tell them, you know, here I am, 30-something years into this. I only experienced one final. I told them about, you know, when I won in college, when we won a national championship, that I didn't get to enjoy the moment, but every now and then I ride down the highway and I get a big grin on my face. because I know we won a national championship and how special it was.
That was at Kansas. He's been in the NBA Finals before, was the oldest coach to reach the finals at age 60. Now he can add to his list at age 63. If his team can win one more game, they go to meet the Lakers.
Boy, I tell you, and Larry Brown hit on a great point, sense of urgency. And a lot of the young guys, they don't understand it. They make the assumption, Brad, that they're going to be back and they're going to come back. And I can tell you this, I remember when I played for the Hawks and that Larry Bird Dominique game,
yeah.
I assumed that we would be back there every year. You know, I never made it back.
Never made it back.
Never made it back.
Let's check in with Michelle.
Well, last night, Larry Brown got a call from his old college coach, Dean Smith, who told him, hey, I've been watching, and each possession is so critical. Make your players understand that each possession defensively, you have to play the right way. And ironically, tonight, he's been preaching defense in every timeout, guys.
3 on the shot clock. Rasheed Wallace short-armed it a little bit. And battling for the rebound. Chuck Daly got a huge ovation when he was shown on the big board a couple of timeouts ago. Of course, the man that helped the Pistons for the World Championships.
Yeah, I had a long talk with Chuck Daly before the game, and he's still, you know.
Does he look great or what?
He looks great. He's not coaching, but he is coaching, if you know what I mean. He's a terrific guy.
Chuck was the oldest coach to win a championship.
He reminds me so much of Phil Jackson, you know, Brad, as a coach, because of his X and O's and his people skills.
And if Chuck looked like he's 73 years old, he certainly doesn't. That's the case. Defensive 3-second call. Rip Hamilton will shoot the free throw. He and Chauncey Billups both even struggling from the line tonight when he hits that one.
Yeah, I tell you, that's dangerous, though. You know, Rick Carlisle was thinking the technical will take the fact that it was Rip Hamilton who got up there and made that shot.
Gave him one more stroke.
Exactly. Right? He didn't need much to get him going. Now I would watch him.
The Pacers, who've had so many offensive droughts in this series, it's the Pistons right now that are in the middle of one. That time Wallace did try to go up and dunk it, and he still had it rejected. Kenny Anderson in the lineup now. Jonathan Bender, I don't know about a three-pointer the first trip you're down court, but he took it anyway.
Well, I think that's what he does. That's a tough shot when you've been on the bench for so long.
Lindsey Hunter in the backcourt right now for the Pistons.
This thing, Jonathan Bender has played 2, 3, 4, and now 5 in this series.
Hunter on the baseline, and he airmails one right to Bender. Detroit's missed its last 6 shots. Kenny Anderson on a pick and roll, back to Crozier. And foul's going to be on Corliss Williamson.
Yeah, and Danny is saying that Corliss Williamson was in the restricted area. Watch the back of his feet.
Ooh, no.
Tell you what, it was close.
And that's what that chat's concerning right now.
You know, that's why I thought that they should fill that little area in. You know, I don't think the line is good enough. I think it should be one solid color, an opposite color of what the color is in the paint.
You got a lot of good ideas. You got to take those back to coaching. Oh, that's right. You're going to do that.
Yes, it's a good call. You know what? It's a tough call, but I think it's a good call. I thought at the end his heel was still in the paint. And if not, he was still moving anyway.
I was going to say, I don't even think his feet were on the floor.
Yeah.
Crozier got both free throws. So Austin Crozier, 5 points off the Pacer bench. It's a 13-point lead. And the Pistons have gone 4.5 minutes without a field goal. Rip Hamilton doesn't have one so far. He's got Jones on him now. Drew a double team. Corliss Williamson blocked by Bender. Boy, there's a lid on it right now for the Pistons. It doesn't matter what distance they're shooting from. Hamilton scores off the glass. First field goal for Rip.
So far, the 2 times he's gotten to the basket has been off the dribble. He has done nothing so far without the ball, and that's where he's been most effective.
Kenny Anderson all the way. Nobody cuts him off. The shot goes in and out.
That's just rust. I mean, great move by Kenny Anderson. If he keeps playing, he'll make that shot by the fourth quarter.
Hunter trying to feed it to Rasheed Wallace. Hunter hits the outside jumper.
Great timeout by Rick Carlisle.
Rebounds, and they've had 7 of those. They only have 4 second chance points. We're under 9.5 minutes to go in the half. 25-16. The Pacers have led the whole way. Kenny Anderson looking for some help. Crozier spins through everybody and turns it over.
See, Crozier is trying to do too much. You know, he is a guy that can take you off the dribble, but he is a guy who makes jump shots. If he doesn't have the jump shot and doesn't have a straight line drive, I think Rick Carlisle wants him to move the ball. Don't be a creator. Let people create for you.
Let's see if Rip Hamilton touches it this trip down court. Mehmet Okur is also in the lineup for the Pistons. And they turn it over. Another opportunity by the board to try to cut into the lead. Lindsey Hunter gets it back. And Kenny Anderson with a foul. Lindsey Hunter's given a little spark, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. And he's done well this entire series with his sparks. He's played great defense. You know, he comes in, he gets some energy, and he has the ability to make the open shot. I mean, that's just great anticipation.
And then just casually throws up a 45-footer that goes home.
Yeah, well, they can make those.
Yeah.
It's the layups they have the problem with.
Hamilton baseline, in and out. Well, he had a look.
And that was the best look. That was the best look he's had this evening.
The Pacers, for the 21st time in the series, have a field goal drought of over 3 minutes. It's over 4 right now. But they still have the lead, 25-16. O'Neal gives it up. Artest, the long jumper over Corliss Williamson, and Ben Wallace rips down the rebound.
I don't know if O'Neal knew how open he was when he gave up that ball. I mean, he was right up under the hoop.
Hamilton to Williamson. Wow, everything is in and out. They're going to wait. They can't wait to the third quarter to get down the other end.
No. Well, that basket's not working well.
No, that one's, well, that's true. Detroit shooting 19% from the floor right now.
And right now, it's like the baskets have batteries on them, and they're dead.
Corliss Williamson picks up his second foul. Anderson and Crozier go out. Johnson and Harrington come back in for the Pacers. And Chauncey Billups is going to check back in for the Pistons. Almost 5 minutes now for the Pacers without a field goal, and still have a 9-point lead. Pacers with Jones, Artest, Harrington, Anthony Johnson, and Jermaine O'Neal on the floor for them. Artest wants a pick from Harrington, and now takes a long shot over Okur.
The last 3 possessions by the Pacers have not been good offense. They're forcing shots now instead of playing freely, taking good shots earlier in the clock.
Okur, this is going to go down in history as the most 5-foot and in missed shots in a finals game. I don't think anybody kept track of that. I'm just going to say it.
I think you're pretty safe.
O'Neal short on that one. Johnson keeps it alive. Jones, a pick and roll to Harrington. And the drought continues. Ben Wallace's 7th rebound. See if the Pistons can score. Williamson gives it up. Nobody wants it right now because it won't go in for anybody. Rip says, I'll try it, and he doesn't score.
Yeah, and that one was a forced shot. You don't see Rip force many of them, but you can see there he's pressing a little bit. This is a smart move here, going right back to O'Neal.
Ben Wallace almost swiped it from him, knocks it away a second time. And now O'Neal throws it away.
Wow.
Hamilton is fouled this time. Oh, no, he's not.
Yeah, he
pushed
fouled.
off.
Yeah.
Shots for one, the last 5 for the other.
Well, you know, when I play with kids at basketball camp, I give them a point for hitting the rim. We might have to think about that right now.
Jermaine O'Neal trying to back in Rasheed Wallace.
I like
and he
it.
scores.
I like it. You go out of a timeout, you come out, and you give it to your guy. I think the Pacers are doing a much better job in this game out of timeouts, and whenever they need a basket, of going down to their guy, Jermaine O'Neal.
Rasheed Wallace forced the pass inside, and Detroit turns it over again.
You know, I wrote a note before the game. What happens if Rip Hamilton struggles? When you look at the numbers, without Rip, this series is a virtual tie.
He's been the one offensive constant, and tonight he's not, at least not yet. 5 minutes to play, turned over by the Pacers. Here is Hamilton going straight up, and he misses in close again.
Yeah, but that was pretty good defense. Reggie Miller knew he was moving, so instead of stopping and taking the charge, knowing that they probably wouldn't give it to him, he kept backpedaling, but he did cause some contact. Watch him moving backwards. That took him away from the charge, but it also took Rip Hamilton's away from the basket and threw him off. Pretty good move.
Fresh shot clock as the Pistons will inbound on the baseline. Wallace to Williamson. That's about the best ball movement so far by the Pistons all night. Big guy to another big guy.
You're shooting 17%, and you're only down 9. If you're Larry Brown, you're not that upset.
Right. Johnson, the outside jumper. Rebound, Chauncey Billups. Pistons push it up court. He'll take the 3. He's missed 3 of them tonight. O'Neal with a rebound. Frustrated look on Chauncey Billups right in front of us.
Well, he knows he has to make that shot, or he has to look at Larry Brown.
Yep. He didn't want to look that way, and he knows he has to eventually. Reggie Miller palmed it. Pacers have 4 points and 5 turnovers this quarter, and they're still ahead by 9. Six turnovers for the Pacers, along with 6 field goals. That's not a good sign either. Hamilton takes it to the rack this time.
Tell you one thing I do like with Rip. He's not scoring off the ball much. He's scoring off the dribble, but he's attacking the basket. He must stay aggressive.
Jermaine O'Neal takes it over Okur, and he airmails one to the baseline. And now the Pistons will come down with a chance to cut it to 5, and the crowd at the Palace back in it.
We're going to catch up on one possession or taking a quick shot. We're going to catch up by stopping people.
And they have stopped people. The Pacers have stopped themselves a few times as well. They only have 1 field goal in the last forever. But the Pistons have worked their way back in the ballgame. They trail by as many as 14 at 23-9. It's 27-20 with 3:41 left in the half.
Wow. You know, but Larry Brown makes a great point. When teams get down, they think they're going to get back in the game with their offense. They're not. The reason you're down is usually because of your defense and you're not getting stopped. And in this series, no one's offense is good enough to get them back in, so they have to play great defense.
A whistle before Corliss Williamson makes that move to the basket, and foul's going to be on Al Harrington, and that's his 3rd. Let's check in with Jim.
Brad, when the Pacers get the ball on offense, Rick Carlisle is telling his guys every time, guys, get the ball into Jermaine. Let him make the decision on the cutter or go strong to the hole, as Doc Rivers has been saying. He wants the ball through Jermaine every time on the offense to end this drought.
Yeah, I think it'd be a wise move. Now, when Jermaine O'Neal gets it, he then must play with his back to the basket. He can't open up because that allows the quicker, bigger guys to guard him.
Rasheed gives it back to Corliss Williamson. Ben Wallace tried to slam it and couldn't. And it's last touched by Harrington out of bounds. Michelle.
Brad, Doc, what Larry Brown also also is upset about is that all that good defense they're playing is going to waste, in his words. He got all over Chauncey Billups about his last missed 3 attempt. He said, we talked about changing sides with the ball. That was not moving the ball. That was a bad shot. I think Chauncey heard him.
Yeah, we saw it, and I mentioned it. Right when Chauncey missed that shot, he turned and looked right at the bench. But I got to say, that is something Chauncey has always done.
Wow. Ben Wallace.
I have to stop because that was a made bucket.
Chance to add one. Reggie Miller going to get a handful of jersey, and Ben goes right through him.
I don't think Ben even knew he was there.
I don't think so either.
That was like a rice noodle garden spoon.
Ben Wallace is a 50% free throw shooter in this conference final series so far, and he missed that one. But he has Detroit back to within 5 as we approach the 3-minute mark. Crozier backpedals and takes a shot, and it's kept alive by Anthony Johnson.
Rick Carlisle is screaming for them to get it down to Jermaine O'Neal. He's pointed 3 and 4 times. He was pointing down. He wasn't even calling a number. He was saying, get it to the big guy.
All they got was an offensive foul on Artest. Right here. Second on Artest. Now it's an opportunity to make it a 3-point game or better if the Pistons score. Artest on Hamilton again. And Wallace, they'll give him that all night. The crowd urges him to take it, but he got his own miss. Wow. And he won't miss that one. Well, it's only a field goal difference now between the Colts and the Lions here as we approach the 2-minute warning. Probably the score of the halftime the last time those two teams met.
No, I doubt it. I think Mariucci would take that right now. I think Mariucci is in the building today.
He is. So is Tom Izzo, his good buddy, Michigan State head coach. Johnson will inbound on the baseline. Artest, Bender, Crozier, and O'Neal out there with him. Bender will take the outside jumper again, and Crozier keeps it alive and maybe saves Jonathan Bender's life and career.
Yes, because he was going to sit next to Coach Carlisle.
Probably the rest of the night. O'Neal draws a double team. Prince knocked it away and stole it. Opportunity to make it a 1-point game. Rip Hamilton needs some help, gets it to Billups, 10 on the shot clock. Tayshaun Prince, short on the inside, and it's out of bounds to the Pacers. Rasheed Wallace has been a non-factor since early. He had 2 quick buckets. And Rasheed talking with Jack Neese about what happened right here as he got tangled up with Jonathan Bender.
Yeah, I think that was more floppy than a foul.
I agree. The Pacers only have 2 points since we had a timeout at the 9:20 mark. And now we're down near a minute. Johnson baseline jumper, and that one's short as well. Rebound, Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton bring it up together. Hamilton, jumper is too strong. Kept alive by Darvin Ham. Billups tried to feed Ben Wallace. He threw it right to Reggie Miller.
See, that was from that last time where he took the quick 3. That was a shot for Chauncey Billups. but he didn't want to take it because he knew if he missed it, what would happen.
O'Neal gives it up. Artest will try a triple, and he knocks it down. Ron Artest has been the offense for the Pacers. He's in double figures with 10. The lead goes back to 6. The opportunities for the Pistons to make it a one-point game or tie it have gone by the boards. Rasheed Wallace for 3.
Pistons have a foul to give here, Brad.
Artest looking for a pick from O'Neal. Gives it up, Crozier for 3. Oh, what a big shot by Crozier. It's not the first time that's happened in this series.
Oh, and Larry Brown is furious right now because he knew they had a foul to give and didn't use it, and instead they give up a 3-point shot.
What are we to make of this game? What's going on out here?
Both teams are playing hard. We gotta make some shots. I gotta stop turning the ball over and be a little more effective.
How can you win with 10 points and 7 turnovers in a quarter?
I don't know. I think defense has something to do with it also. We're able to stop those guys, but we got to do a better job on taking care of the ball. We're fortunate enough to have this lead, but we got to turn it up if we plan on taking this back to Indiana.
Can you describe the amount of pain you're feeling in your knee?
It's hurting me, man. I just got to get what I can give. I'm trying my hardest, but I got to step it up. You know, it's no tomorrow. Got to be able to take this back to Indiana and win the series.
Jermaine, thank you. Good luck in the second half.
Swept. Now he's on the other side. Had the best record the regular season with 61 wins with his Pacers in his first year. And now they're trying to force a trip back home to Conseco Fieldhouse in 2 nights.
You know, Rick Carlisle makes a great point. The problem is they're small. And if you're small, one of the things you're going to give up, and I said at the beginning of the game, is offensive rebounds. I think he's going to have to live with that.
Ben Wallace opens the third quarter with an air ball.
When you have Al Harrington blocking out Rasheed Wallace or Ben Wallace, the Detroit Pistons are going to get some offensive rebounds.
Harrington looks for Reggie Miller. He'll take a 2, and it's up and over.
Boy, he got a great look.
Yes, he did. He had 1 3 in the first half. This crowd is just waiting for a reason. I mean, they're hanging on every shot. Of course, so are we. We're waiting for some of them to go in.
And you know, the big note that has to be made is when Larry Brown was talking, they understand that this is their last chance at home.
Tayshaun Prince, his first field goal, makes it a 3-point game. Johnson gives it back. O'Neal from 17. And Jermaine O'Neal with 6 points.
And I think Rick Carlisle, at least early on in this quarter, will watch the clock and the score. And if Detroit makes any run, he'll call a quick timeout.
Hamilton, fade away on the baseline. And the rebound's going to be touched last by the Pacers, out of bounds to Detroit.
See, again, Ron Artest has done a terrific job on Rip Hamilton.
Yes, he has.
You know, what he's making him do, he's not allowing him to move without the ball. He's bumping him, he's impeding his progress, and that's hurting him. So Rip now is trying to score off the dribble, which is tough to do against Artest.
Tayshaun Prince, the first 2 field goals of the quarter for the Pistons. He has been almost non-existent offensively in this series, and he couldn't have had 5 better points than the 5 he just scored. Johnson, fouled by Phillips.
I tell you, Anthony Johnson has been very effective.
Yes, he has.
He gets to the bucket, he's drawing fouls, and he's getting other guys open. He is being a creator, and that's what they need him to do.
He'll go to the free throw line, where he's 5 of 6 in the Eastern Conference Final Series so far. An 81% free throw shooter on the regular season. His 3rd point makes it a 4-point lead. I like Anthony's little shoulder shake before he shoots his free throw. Got a little bit of a dance move to it.
He goes through a lot of stuff, doesn't he?
Got a lot of things going on. Well, it works.
It works.
Hamilton brings it up where number 23 will meet him. Phillips tried to get it over O'Neal. No dice there. O'Neal in and out.
Yeah, and that's a good shot. But again, it was created by Anthony Johnson on the pick and roll.
Prince has it knocked out of bounds.
Boy, the Pacers got lucky. Both guys went with Tayshaun Prince. No one was starting Rasheed Wallace.
Rasheed Wallace has got to start touching it, Doc.
Yeah, he does. He, to me, is a lot like O'Neal. Both guys, O'Neal for the Pacers, Wallace for the Pistons, have to shoot in volume for either team to win.
Ben Wallace pushed it up and hit the bottom of the backboard out of bounds. Frustration continues offensively for Larry Brown's Pistons.
You know, as this game goes on, I think the pressure switches over to the Pistons more and more because they know if they lose this game, then they have to go on a road to try to get to the finals.
Phillips strips it twice from O'Neal. And still has nothing to show for it except the shot clock that's down to 3.
But again, look where O'Neal has the ball. Where he's turned over the ball is in that spot. When he's gotten it low, deep on the post, he's been very tough to stop.
They've got 3 to shoot. Artest will be the man to trigger. This is where you look for Reggie Miller. He can't handle it. Harrington's going to have to shoot.
Doesn't know the clock.
And didn't get it away in time.
Got to know the clock.
Let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim.
Jamal Tinsley is done for the evening, Brad. His night is done. They said they're going to have a quick plug. He only played 4 minutes. He just cannot respond with that partial tear in his hamstring and the bad knee, Brad.
Well, Doc called that when he went out. He said that Rick Carlisle gave him the pat on the back as if to say, nice try to gut it out, but it's time to sit down.
Yeah, us players used to call that the death pat. You know, when you get one of those from the coach, that means that's
it's over. Again, Ben Wallace shooting from the outside of the baseline is not what Detroit wants.
But again, let me make this point. There's a reason he's open. You know, that's not by happenstance that we keep seeing Ben Wallace wide open with 6 seconds on the shot clock. That's exactly what the Pacers are trying to get Detroit to do.
Are the Pacers doing that good a job to prevent Rasheed Wallace from touching it?
No, I think Rasheed Wallace is doing that good a job on himself by staying too far away from the bucket.
Harrington. And Chauncey Billups with a kick foul there. His second.
He walked into that foul. You know, usually officials will not make that call, but right when Harrington lost balance, then they had to make the call. I like when officials allow you to play through that, but in that sense, in that case, they couldn't do it.
Detroit with 3 team fouls here in the opening, not quite 4 minutes of the third quarter. Knocked away. Good job defensively by Rasheed Wallace there.
See, again, Rasheed Wallace and Ben Wallace have done a much better job on Jermaine O'Neal, forcing him off that block. They are really forcing him to step out.
8 seconds to shoot now as the Pacers inbound again. There's Reggie Miller. Makes the catch. Got Rip Hamilton to fly by, but he missed a 3 badly.
Yeah, and that was because of Tayshaun Prince. That was great defense.
Here's Tayshaun Prince going to the offense. Missed his own, got his own missed shot. But Tayshaun getting aggressive here offensively for maybe the first time in the series.
Yeah, he's aggressive offensively, but I tell you, that last run out of Reggie Miller surprised Reggie Miller that he can get there that quick. I would think Reggie would know that by
After
now.
game 2, when he came out of nowhere to block the shot, the block heard round the Eastern Conference Finals that night. Rip Hamilton on the inbound, trying to find some space and room, and he can't.
Boy, he hit the ground hard.
Artest will try to back Hamilton down. Reggie will try it again for three. And again, he's way long.
And again, Tayshaun Prince is flying at him.
Jermaine O'Neal, top of the circle, and he knocks it home.
I think you'll see a timeout from Larry Brown pretty soon also if the Pistons keep struggling offensively the way they are.
Still, they trail by only 7 as we approach 7 remaining in the third quarter. Hamilton over Artest. Contested, but he dropped it in anyway.
Yeah, and that's the tough way. You know, they would rather have him score without the ball, but right now they're doing such a great job on Rip Hamilton. He's going to have to try to take Artest off the dribble, which is not going to be easy.
5-point Pacer lead. And a whistle and a foul.
I mean, taking Ron Artest off the dribble is very difficult, but Rip Hamilton, his ability to pull up off the dribble gives him some space, and that's how he gets that shot off.
There's his numbers from Game 5 and what he's got tonight. 3 was a playoff career high for Rip.
He doesn't need but a couple to get him going.
Artest, the leading scorer right now for the Pacers with 10. Make it 11. Tune in to NBA TV and see the emotional story. One of the greatest players to never make it to the NBA. Hooked, the legend of Demetrius Hook Mitchell, premieres June 14th only on NBA TV. Artest got 1 of 2. So a 6-point game. Remember, Larry Brown talked about the importance of the first 5 minutes of this third quarter. It hasn't been a very productive one so far for Detroit. Here's Rasheed Wallace with Harrington on his hip. Baseline jumper, that's his shot. And I don't know why they don't get it to him more there.
You know why, Brad? You're right, because there's nothing Al Harrington can do. When Rasheed Wallace turns around, he's going to be taller than Al Harrington. It's not like he can grow during the possession.
Artest draws a double team. O'Neal over Rasheed Wallace. Now that's a tough shot. 10 for Jermaine.
You know, when you have a height advantage, go down to the post to Rasheed Wallace, and then
where it come from. And then Riley, of course, took it to new heights.
It's ugly basketball. Also, you played the Lakers twice in the finals as a big underdog. So you know what it's like to beat them. You beat them once of 2 times. Can either of these 2 teams beat the Lakers?
No, truthfully, I don't think they're going to beat them because they have too many offensive people. But I do believe it's going to surprise some people. Particularly Detroit wins it because they got about 6-7 footers sitting over there if they could get enough offense. And either one of these teams is going to be relieved into the next series because they're going to get some shots.
Chuck, let me ask you as well. Hubie Brown did a great job this year with Memphis. You're going to be 74 years old. You still get a lot of calls to head coach. Would you ever entertain it?
No, I wish I wanted to do it because I could sure use the money.
We haven't spent any. We know that. Let's go back to you, Brad. Great to see you, Chuck.
Thank you.
I don't know if it's Reverend Daly or Father Time with that outfit, but I like that. Watch this block, or the foul, as it was called on Tayshaun Prince.
Yeah, he came down pretty tough, but once he heard that whistle, he felt a lot better. Chuck Daly can coach today, tomorrow, or anytime he wants to.
Tayshaun Prince will sit down with 4 fouls.
I find it interesting that every coach you talk to, Mike Fratello, Hubie Brown, Chuck Daly, Pat Riley, everybody's passing the buck on the defense. I think you should be proud of playing defense, but Chuck makes a great point. His team still scored in the hundreds.
There was a time when I was worried we were going to get to 100 combined in this game. 5:29 remaining, third quarter. 8-point lead again. The Pistons have never led. Rasheed Wallace turns on Crozier. Ben Wallace with a foul.
Boy, that was close. I don't know if that was out of the rim. But, you know, Ben was up there so long, it looked like he waited until he thought it came outside of the rim and then pushed it back through.
And with as much frustration on the missed shots in close for the Pistons in the first half, he was going to make sure when he got that hand on it that it was going in. Rasheed Wallace picks up the foul. That's his second.
Well, number one, I like what both teams are doing. First, they go down to Rasheed Wallace, the Pistons do, and that gets him a great shot, and Ben Wallace gets the follow through. Then on the other end, they're going down to O'Neal. So the two guys who have to get involved in this game are starting to get involved in this game.
Definitely, Jermaine O'Neal has, in this quarter, 8 of his 12 points already.
You know, which is a lot because he has struggled in the second half so far in this series. And I guarantee you at halftime, Rick Carlisle said, listen, guys, every second half we've gone away from Jermaine O'Neal. We have to make a point of getting the ball to him in volume.
While the Pistons have foul trouble with Tayshaun Prince, the Pacers have no foul trouble and no fouls so far this quarter. That is less than 5 minutes from expiring. Jermaine O'Neal's numbers tonight. 4 for 4 from the line for Jermaine O'Neal. 14 points in the game.
Now they have Rasheed Wallace going a little bit. The guy who has bailed them out every game has been Rip Hamilton. They're going to need him to score at some point in this series.
Chauncey Billups pull-up jumper on the baseline. Pistons keep it alive as it comes out to Hamilton. Now it's Billups for 3. And Artest rebound. Chauncey Billups is 0 for 8 from the floor.
Looks like he's hesitating to me. I mean, usually Chauncey just takes that shot. I think he's thinking a little too much about what's a good shot and what's a bad shot.
O'Neal over Wallace. And Billups with the rebound. There's what I was talking about. Chauncey Billups 0 for 8 and Rip Hamilton on only 3 of 11. Hamilton in traffic.
I tell you what, Rip Hamilton is a magnet tonight. Every time he touches the ball, you see 1 and 2 Pacers on him. The fact that they're not allowing them to move without the ball, but instead catch the ball, well, now they have time to give help because they see where the ball's at, has been significant tonight defensively.
That's the second foul on Hamilton.
It's so much easier to track a score when he has the ball in his hand.
Artest, a 3. And Rasheed Wallace, the outlet to Rip Hamilton. In some traffic, he drew a foul. This one's on Harrington, and that's going to be 4 on him. Check in with Michelle DeFoy.
During the timeout, guys, Larry Brown said we are in bad foul trouble and we are not going to win this game by jacking up shots. We have to get everyone the basketball. We got to get into this game right now. Don't allow any more separation. We must win the next 3.5 minutes. Brad, Doc?
You know, it's a good point, Brad, and I think right now, me watching the Pistons, everyone, single guy, is trying to win this game for them because they want to win so badly. And that happens with teams. It's not a selfish thing. But they're being taken out of their offense because each guy is saying, well, I'm going to get it started instead of trusting their offense.
They trail by 6 with 3:20 left in the third. Bender in trouble. Got it to Artest. Kenny Anderson back in there at the point guard spot, and he just threw it away. Ben Wallace does a nice job of getting that one wrapped around O'Neal and getting the steal.
See, I like when Kenny Anderson is coming in. The Pistons are pressuring him. They know, as good as he is, he hasn't played in 2 months.
Corliss Williamson's alone on the baseline, and he knocks it down. Back to it in 4.
See, great point by Larry Brown. When you run your offense, guys seem to get open. When you try to do it by yourself, you're drawing too much attention.
The Pistons get a defensive stop here. This crowd's going to go crazy. Anderson threw it away again. Outlet to Hamilton on the run. Rip Hamilton leaves it for Williamson, blocked by Bender. Golden opportunity by the Pistons. They let it get away again, but nice hustle by the Pacers. Their transition defense caught up with a break.
Well, I love what Artest is doing. This is not a play. He waved everyone out and said, let's get it to O'Neal. And by doing that, he got to the basket and blew the layup. Wow. That's a big miss.
Hamilton's been wearing Artest all night. Corliss Williamson in the paint. Doesn't get the roll. Hit the deck. And the shots aren't falling much better on that rim than they were on the one to our left.
There's some fatigue in this game. I mean, you can see it. Again, Artest demanded.
Whoa. Jump ball. How about that muscle?
That's great. I love what Artest is doing, though, Brad. He's demanding that Jermaine O'Neal get to the post. Now, they've come up empty on both of them, but it's a good move by Artest. He has taken the ball out of the point guard's hand. He's waved them off, and he points to O'Neal and says, you get to the post.
And you can hear Larry Brown or read his lips saying, no foul, no foul. It wasn't. It's a jump ball.
Great defense by Ben Wallace.
Sure was. Now they're trying to get everybody situated on the circle.
They better be careful here.
It's a big jump ball.
Yes. This is a fast break opportunity for Detroit if the Pacers aren't careful.
And Rip Hamilton ahead to Corliss Williamson. You call it, Doc. Pistons aren't dead yet. And the crowd couldn't be more alive.
Big Daddy.
Full court pressure by the Pistons. Hunter in there. He'll chase Artest to the timeline.
Well, Lindsey Hunter has brought energy to this Piston team.
Bender. Fouled. And that's 3 on Rip Hamilton. Remember, Larry Brown said, we've got to finish out this quarter on a run. They've gone 6-0 since he said that in the huddle. And now we've got just over a minute left in the third quarter in a 2-point game. Jonathan Bender, though, will go to the free throw line. He has not shot a free throw in the finals.
Well, he's been taking a bunch of threes.
Yeah, way too many.
To do it. But let me make the point about Lindsey Hunter. In the stat sheet, tomorrow when you wake up, you don't see anything for the most part. But both times he's been in this game, in the first half and now in the second half, his energy, his defensive pressure has turned the series in this game around. He's done a terrific job off the bench tonight and in this series.
Bender got 1 of 2. 3-point game, final minute, third quarter. Hamilton around a pick. The jumper. Good.
Off the ball. That's his first bucket off the ball.
A 1-point game. A quarter left and change. And the Pacers give it right back to Detroit. Artest. Nope, it's on Bender. Reggie Miller looks on. Detroit trailing by 1. Final 30 seconds, third quarter. Pistons, so far in the game, have never led. Ben Wallace in the paint. That one didn't have a chance. 10 seconds left, third quarter.
Pacers have ended with threes.
They'll try one here, and it goes. Wow. Huge shot, just as Crozier's was to end the second quarter. Anthony Johnson knocks it down from three-point land just before the buzzer. A 6-minute and 10-second field goal drought, and Anthony Johnson lights it up from outside the arc to end the third quarter.
Well, that's the third time in the quarter so far that they've ended quarters with three-point shots. This one they had no choice but to take it.
Johnson, who's been big off the bench and as a starter in this series, and this one en route and good. The Pacers on the road with a lead.
And the Pacers have scored 8 points total to end quarters. You know, they scored 2 to end the first, 3 and 3.
Artest double team momentarily by Hunter and Hamilton. Gets it out to Freddie Jones. Artest over Hamilton. That one never had a chance, and Ben Wallace pulls it down.
Again, Lindsey Hunter single-handedly took the Pacers out of their offense. His pressure right now is making a difference.
Okur, Hunter, Hamilton, Wallace, and Corliss Williamson on the floor, and it's Rip Hamilton.
Ron Artest is getting tired. You know, Rip Hamilton talks about that he's the best conditioned athlete in the NBA. Ron Artest absolutely stopped on that last play.
The lead down to 2 again. Pistons got it as close as 1. Bender, offensive foul.
I want you to watch the bottom of your screen on this pick and watch Ron Artest. He's going to stop when he hits the pick. That's exhaustion. All night, he's been fighting through it. You see that delay? If you delay on Rip Hamilton, you get scored on. He is a better conditioned athlete than everyone else, and he believes that.
I'm tired just watching him chase Rip Hamilton. He's going to take a breather. Now let's see who's going to be on Hamilton this trip down.
And that's all. Rick Carlisle was just trying to give him a quick blow.
Jones got caught behind a pick. Okur with an offensive foul. That's just not a good move.
No, I was wondering where you were going to go with that. And that's the right answer. I mean, basically, he just leaned his shoulder forward. That was an easy charge.
Yeah, it was.
Sometimes you get charged. Sometimes you take charges. That one, he got charged. Boston couldn't have gotten out the way if he wanted to.
No way.
Back to O'Neal.
There it is against Rasheed Wallace. Contested, though, by Corliss Williamson from behind. And now Rasheed trying to save it. Down in the corner, great hustle as he hit the deck.
Boy.
Lost the handle and then went diving after it.
It's amazing how quick that basketball can be sometimes.
Fred Jones will trigger it in. And Anthony Johnson will set it back up. O'Neal knocks it down.
Boy, he loves those elbows.
Yes, he does.
I mean, that's the place he's made shot. High pick and roll, elbow jump shot, and on the post. Those are his 2 areas.
Freddie Jones guarding Rip Hamilton right now. Hamilton in the paint and one.
See, that's the difference between Freddie Jones and Ron Artest. When Rip Hamilton lowers his shoulder into Ron Artest is still standing there. When he lowers his shoulder into Fred Jones, he backs up and reaches, and that gives Rip Hamilton freedom.
Hamilton,
right
the one constant in this whole series for either team, and he's got 16 points again tonight.
He's been the savior. Every time the Pistons have gotten themselves in trouble, they turn to Rip Hamilton.
And he's made it a 1-point game again. He has the last 7 Detroit points. 9:40 to play. Fans looking for some defense from the Pistons. O'Neal baseline over Ben Wallace. Oh, what a follow by Crozier.
Austin Crozier came from the 3-point line. Then Rasheed Wallace took his eyes off of him. Never thought he would try to get an offensive rebound.
The Pistons know they've got to have it in number 32's hands. He's working against Jones. And he's fouled again.
Rip Hamilton has just decided, I'm taking this game over. I want you to look at Crozier and look at Rasheed Wallace. He's paying no attention to Crozier. He's looking at the ball instead of his man, and that's how you give up an offensive rebound.
And from floor cam, a flying Austin Crozier gives his team a 3-point lead again. Billups for a tie. Got it! First time tied since it was 2 apiece. And Rasheed Wallace will pick up the foul. Artest, Crozier, Reggie Miller, Jermaine O'Neal, and the man who's got it right now is Anthony Johnson. The Pistons have their starting 5 on the floor. Miller knocks down a 3.
And if he didn't have it, Crozier had it. So that was a great timeout play. Rick Carlisle got both of his shooters wide open.
Reggie Miller, 2 field goals tonight. They're both 3-pointers. Tayshaun Prince wants to get it to Rasheed Wallace and does. Now Wallace fades over Crozier. Ben Wallace almost had the rebound, and he will keep it alive for Detroit.
Now take a look here. This is Reggie playing Rip. You see the move, great. What happens there was Rip Hamilton decided to go over the screen instead of lock and trail.
He took the shortcut, and he came up about 4 feet wide.
Yes, he did.
Fresh shot clock. Billups to toss it in from the baseline.
The Pacers have made huge threes this evening.
Billups penetrates and dishes to Ben Wallace. He adjusts in midair, but the adjustment cost him the basket.
Once again, instead of taking it straight to the board, Ben Wallace makes an adjustment so he doesn't get fouled. He has to take it straight to the glass and not worry about getting fouled.
Reggie Miller almost got 3 again. Anthony Johnson, another 3. Rasheed Wallace up high for the rebound. 7.5 to play.
The pace of this game has changed.
Rasheed Wallace got O'Neal up. In and out. And all yellow jerseys except Ben Wallace there.
Well, he was the biggest one there.
Artest works it down against Tayshaun Prince, and he just picked his pocket.
See again, Brad, you see what he did? He exposed the ball. That's why he's been struggling so far in this series.
And Reggie Miller bumps Chauncey Billups.
Usually he takes it straight up for whatever reason in this series, and I do believe it's because of the length of Prince. When Artest drives now, he holds the ball out.
Chris Chelios on the right, Chris Rock on the left, and wow, several beers in between.
Yes, there was a lot of cups down there.
There sure was. There's the MVP of the '90 championship. There's a many-time MVP with the Boston Celtics. There's a guy that's knocked out a lot of guys, and now who's going to get knocked out tonight? Joey Harrington, the starting quarterback of the Lions, looking on.
He's hoping not him.
Steve Eisenman's here. There's a lot of folks watching Detroit at home with their last chance to give their fans a thrill at home. They do not want to go back to Conseco Fieldhouse Thursday night. If so, it'll be there on ESPN, and we'll be there with you. Chauncey Billups to try to tie it. Does!
Well, that's a back at you from Larry Brown. Rick Carlisle comes out of a timeout, gets a 3. Larry Brown comes right back and draws up another 3.
You said watch out for Chauncey Billups when he hit the last 3. 6 points in the quarter, 10 for the game. Pistons have never led. Reggie Miller with a rebound. Heat check by Billups, and it almost went. And the crowd would have gone crazy. It'll be a foul on Rip Hamilton.
And you can see this was set up out of the timeout, just like Reggie Miller's was set up out of the timeout.
Hamilton has 17. Chauncey Billups has 10. That's the 4th foul on Rip as well. And we're at the 6-minute mark. Anthony Johnson's wide open, but he missed the shot. Tayshaun Prince with another rebound.
They're going under the pick and rolls with Anthony Johnson, giving him that shot.
Phillips underneath, got too far underneath.
Yeah, he had the strong side. He should have gone up on the strong side.
Anthony Johnson's alone again, and this time he knocks it down.
You know what I love about Anthony Johnson? There's a reason he's open. They want him to be open. He knows that, and he's going to take it. That's why he's in the game right now.
Tayshaun Prince cupping his ear as if to say, Chauncey, I can't hear you. The crowd's too loud. It's our test on Hamilton again. We've seen it all night. A pass ricocheted to Ben Wallace. Now he moves in with a left hand off the glass. Boy, he hasn't finished a lot of them tonight. I didn't think he'd finish that one.
No, but he went towards the basket on that one. He wasn't trying to change anything. He was going right through you.
Johnson leaves it for Harrington. He got it blocked by Prince. Another big block by Tayshaun Prince. Down to 4.5 minutes. Prince for the lead. Doesn't happen. O'Neal with a rebound.
Tayshaun Prince just does not look like he can jump that high. But when you look at those long arms, you know how he gets it done.
Chauncey Billups hurt his hand somewhere in the mayhem. He's listed at 6'9", but his wingspan is almost 7'2", and he showed it there.
But he stayed in it, and with an effort, he gets 2 big block shots.
Call him recovery man. 8 on the shot clock. Artest working against Prince. He almost blocked that shot, and Ben Wallace gets the rebound. There'll be 4 minutes left when Chauncey Billups crosses midcourt. Pacers have led by as many as 14 in the first half.
Oh, wow. Artest just leveled Rip Hamilton.
And Rip still down, face down.
He may be thrown out of the game, but it's definitely going to be a flagrant.
Well, Dan Crawford's going over the scorers table to explain just what it is. It's an elbow for Artest, and Artest with the flagrant foul. Hamilton with a little butt bump there to the lower part of Ron Artest. Oh, right to the face, actually, huh?
Yeah, and what Rip Hamilton did was a mistake. Artest mistaked it as something worse, you know, and so he retaliated. The problem was Artest didn't need to retaliate.
And remember, Rip Hamilton wears a protective mask because his nose was broken twice this year. And the team said, we really want you to try to wear it because we can't afford you to break your nose again and take yourself out of the playoffs.
But you can see the bump here. See, that hurt. But Ron Artest thought that that was dirty. It wasn't. That was dirty. He knew it right away. But, you know, Rip Hamilton
Too late.
is thinking, yeah, well, that's great. You know, the mask helps. But it still hurts when you hit the mask and it hits your face.
That's right. It's still on the cheekbone either way. So Rip Hamilton's going to go to the free throw line. And Doc, the Detroit Pistons in this game have never led. And now their leading scorer and the guy that's been their hero throughout the 3 wins they do have is at the free throw line a chance to light the crowd up.
Well, you know, and again, the Pacers said before this game that they wanted to get physical with Rip Hamilton. I guarantee you Rick Carlisle and no one in the Pacers meant that.
The first Piston lead is on Rip Hamilton's free throw. 22,000 plus have been waiting all night to pound those thunder sticks and come to attention. And Rip Hamilton's got their attention.
But this is a huge play, Brad. You get 2 shots and the ball back. This is a 4- or 5-point play opportunity. At this time in the game, you can't lose your cool. It's just too crucial.
Will the two-point lead become more? Chauncey Billups trying to make it so. The follow by Rasheed Wallace. Technical on Rip Hamilton now.
Someone better grab Rip Hamilton. He's upset over the blow that Artest gave him, so he went back up to Artest and started to go back at him.
Meanwhile, Reggie Miller at the free throw line misses a free throw. That almost never happened.
As bad as Artest was, it's almost worse on Rip Hamilton's part. It's not about you and him. It's about you winning this game. Now watch Rip Hamilton right here. You can't see him. The action had already happened.
The first technical foul on the Pistons in the series. But they lead now by 4.
See, now what's happening is the officials going to clean it up. And I like that because they have to get this game back under control.
And now it's 5 fouls on Rip Hamilton, and they can't afford to lose him if this goes to overtime. Michelle?
Well, Rip Hamilton was being calmed down by numerous teammates, but as he got ready to come back into the game after shooting those technicals and after falling on his face, Ron Artest said, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" And then had some very unfortunate choice words that I can't repeat. So he's still in Rip's head, guys.
Well, that's a good move by Artest.
Reggie Miller missed the three, and Chauncey Billups a rebound.
Yeah, he rushed that one. Didn't get a good look.
Pistons hadn't led all night. They went to the lead by the free throws and added to it, and they're up by 4. And we're under 3 minutes, probably the next time they shoot. Tayshaun Prince had it stripped. Chauncey Billups lost it going up. Shot clock violation, goes back over to Indiana.
Well, the question I have right now for the Pacers is, where is Jermaine O'Neal? And it's not like it's Jermaine O'Neal's fault, Brad. He hasn't touched the basketball. They must get the ball down to Jermaine O'Neal, and then if they double team, they can get a shot off of that double team.
On the floor for Indiana, O'Neal, Crozier, Reggie Miller, Ron Artest, and Anthony Johnson. Pistons have their starting 5 on the floor. Johnson, he's been tough tonight. He leaves it for O'Neal, and he scores. Just as Doc called it, Jermaine O'Neal cuts it to 2.
He has to be your guy.
Artest running with Hamilton again. Remember, Hamilton has 5 fouls. Rasheed Wallace looking to cross the paint, goes baseline and goes strong, but he doesn't score. And Reggie Miller's got the rebound. Pacers with a chance to tie or lead.
They're going right back to the middle pick and roll with Jermaine O'Neal and Anthony Johnson.
There it is. And there it is. But he didn't score this time.
That's the one you got to make.
Ben Wallace has 16 rebounds again tonight. So what else is new, huh? Hamilton trying to feed Ben Wallace. And he throws it away. Terrible possession by the Pistons. Anthony Johnson hoists it up here.
They have all the time in the world, Brad.
Everybody needs to take a deep breath right now.
Great job. Larry Brown just said, slow down. Let's get into our set.
1:20 left. Hamilton got away from Artest and scored!
And loss of composure on a couple possessions so far in this game has really hurt the Pacers. But there's a minute and 13 seconds left. There is plenty of time for Indiana to get back in this game.
Michelle.
In that last timeout, Larry Brown said, watch me. We have a foul to give. Now, no silly fouls, but we have one to give. Rebound the ball, everybody, and use the clock. Brad Dopp.
Trying to get the ball in. A struggle to do so to O'Neal. Now it's Artest driving on Wallace, trying to throw one down, and it didn't go. And Rasheed Wallace with a rebound. And there'll be less than a minute to play as Billups brings it up. A deafening crowd of over 22,000 at the Palace. They can sense it. Tayshaun Prince got it! The Prince of the Palace saves his best for Game 6. A blocked shot, and then a huge jumper.
An up and down series, and he's made two of the bigger, or three of the bigger plays so far in this series.
Kid Rock on the floor, but is it slipping away for the Pacers right now on the road? They're trying to force Game 7 back home on Thursday. O'Neal over Wallace, scoring.
It's just a 4-point game here. And when Reggie Miller's in a basketball game, this is not over.
Rip Hamilton, over 20 points for the 10th straight playoff game. The 10th straight Eastern Conference final playoff game. Larry Brown, Annapolis on Thursday. Here we go in the final half minute of the game. Trying to trap Chauncey Billups, and they can't. Not yet, anyway.
They're close to it.
He gives it up to Tayshaun Prince. 5 on the shot clock. Prince goes up off the glass, and the rebound is Artest.
Find the shooters. Find the shooters.
15 seconds left. Artest, long three.
Boy, they didn't need that. Pacers have to foul here, Brad.
That's what ripped the trigger to win. With a big defensive play and a big shot. Ben Wallace!
And the Pistons still have the foul to give, and they're going to use it.
Tayshaun Prince with a block, a shot, and an assist in the last couple of minutes.
That's the second time in his playoffs that at the end of the game, Ben Wallace has gotten a dunk from the side of the bounce play because he's the last guy the other teams think will receive the ball.
7.9 seconds, all that's left. A two-possession game only if you hit a three. Reggie Miller's in that pile-up. He'll try to come out of the pack. Anthony Johnson will be the trigger man. Pistons are 8 seconds away from a trip to the finals. There's Reggie out of the pack. There goes the three. Off the mark. Crozier backs up. Time running out. He forces one and it goes. But it's going to be too little too late. It's a two-pointer for Crozier. The Pistons trying to get it in bounds and throw it in. And for the first time in 14 years, the Pistons go to the NBA Finals. They're the 2004 Eastern Conference champions.
About the flagrant foul that took place with Ron Artest. Was that the difference in this game?
Well, right now, I didn't really see what happened. And it certainly had an impact, it's hard for me to say because I didn't see it. It was a tough call.
Rick, you coached the Pistons last year. What's your feeling now as they go to the finals?
Well, obviously, our goal is to get where they're going. And there are a lot of encouraging things that happened for us this year, but we're not satisfied with just getting to the conference finals. Our guys show a lot of courage. A lot of guys are hurt. Jermaine O'Neal shouldn't even be out here, and Tinsley, and they showed a lot of heart, and I'm really proud to be a part of this group, and we'll be back.
Was youth the difference, Rick, in this finals?
Pardon me?
Was youth the difference in this finals?
Well, you know, we learned a lot, and we got to remember what this felt like, you know, to lose under these conditions in this situation, and you know, we'll get healed up, and we'll get better next year, and we're going to be back.
Rick, thank you for your time. Most gracious.
Thank you.
Joe, hang on. Joe, when you took the helm of this organization, this is what you envisioned. Obviously, you're one step away from what you're really envisioning, but what does this moment feel like?
It's a great feeling. This is where we feel like we should be. We're getting ready to go to the finals. As you can see, these fans are incredible. We're going to go try to win it.
All right, Rip is right here, and he's arguably the MVP of this series. Rip, things really changed on that flagrant foul. What happened out there?
I think he hit me with a cheap shot. You know, it's all a part of the game. You know, my teammates just told me, you know, to keep my mental part of the game. You know, don't let him get into my head. And I kept playing, and I just kept playing, and I kept playing.
No two games in this series have been alike, and this one was no different. Just so strange, up and down, back and forth. You guys really had to grind it out. How, during those final minutes, were you guys able to keep your composure and win this game?
You know what? We come to work every day. You know, our motto is come to work or go home. And we do a great job of doing that. We just didn't want to slip away. Like I said, we was here last year. We knew what it takes to win, and everybody was here. We was all as one, as a unit, and we got the win.
A lot of this series has been entertaining because of you and Reggie Miller and that matchup. What did he say to you tonight when you two embraced?
Well, the one thing I told him, I just told him thank you, you know, for the game that he plays, and for me to be able to watch him and watch a great player and try to mock him as best as possible. And, I mean, he's a great player, man. I'm just having fun. And he just said, keep going, keep coming off screens and play my game.
Well, you told me earlier this is a dream. You're going to the finals. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Coachville, baby.
When you came here in the middle of the season, you felt a lot of love from these fans all season. You've come close before in Portland of getting to the finals. Now you are there. Can you describe your emotions right now?
You know, right now I'm excited. I'm happy for all my teammates. I'm happy for everyone here in the city of Detroit. But, you know, we only could cheer for a couple minutes because we got a tough game ahead of us.
You do. You'll be playing a familiar foe in the LA Lakers. You know them well. What is it going to take to beat the Lakers in the finals?
A lot of heart, effort, and determination. You know, they're a good ball club. They have 4 Hall of Famers on their team. They're a good ball club, but we can do it, though.
Congratulations. We'll see you in the finals.
Thank you.
Back to you, Brad.
So the spray paint.